Workers at a Volkswagen plant in Chattanooga, Tennessee, voted overwhelmingly to join the United Auto Workers Union, marking a major breakthrough for the labor movement in America. On Friday, some 73% of workers at the Tennessee plant voted in favor of joining the UAW. This is the first time that a foreign car maker's plant in the South has voted to unionize. Now, this is a huge deal because the American South has been skeptical and even hostile toward labor unions for decades. Republican leaders and the business community in the South have warned for years that unionizing would mean a loss of jobs. And this Chattanooga Volkswagen plant had previously voted against joining the UAW twice, in 2014 and again in 2019. All of this comes about 5 months after UAW workers ratified historic new contracts with record wage gains and improved benefits at the big three automakers in Detroit. With this win out of Tennessee, the UAW will expand its focus to other southern plants, hoping to organize at least half a dozen more over the next 2 years. Another vote will take place next month at a Mercedes-Benz plant in Alabama. Joining me now to talk about the power of American labor movement is Sarah Nelson, International President for the Association of Flight Attendants. And while you're not an auto worker, Sarah, there are similarities between the auto workers and the Auto Workers Union in the North and the sort of things that have gone on with flight attendants and airline workers. There's a lot of history here, and this feels really monumental to me.
This is monumental, Ali. This is an extraordinary win, but it is coming off the backs of the strike and showing the American worker that we can fight and we can change the conditions in this country. Every single person across the country is working 2 and 3 jobs to survive. Forced overtime, our time and our money has been taken from us. And so this is not just a fight in the South, although the South is really where we've got to win big, because this is where workers have been exploited the most, oftentimes to attract companies from outside the country and to bring those companies in on the backs of the workers who have subsidized those companies with low wages and a lot more time on the job.
Sarah, talk to me about the threats. During the strike, the thing that came out was always, you're going to lose your jobs. In fact, some of the automakers started shutting down plants and laying off workers. That's always the threat. Prices will go up, you'll lose jobs, bad for everyone. It has worked in the past as a fear-mongering tactic. What's changed in the last year or two?
What's changed is that workers see that that tactic is a tactic to continue to make us desperate for this work, to make us feel lucky that we should have a job, rather than helping these companies understand that they should feel lucky to have our work. And so workers are saying it has gone backwards for so long, and the only place that we're seeing a difference is in corporate greed. This is all of our work, all of our time has been pushed to Wall Street. It has been pushed to billionaires. And if we don't take a stand, it's never going to change. So those threats of closing those plants is a near-term threat. But what UAW was able to do was to lock in long-term job security and even job security as the EV industry continues to grow.
And we saw threats or we saw strikes or threats of strikes in the last year, and in many cases, remarkable successes that came out of them, from the Teamsters, from the United Auto Workers, from SAG-AFTRA. In your industry, there were several of those close calls in some cases. What's the issue with the South, and why is there movement in the South that we've not seen?
Look, I think we're seeing movement in the South because people are just really hurting. And they're fed up. The pandemic showed us that not only have we been treated as a cost line item with all of these companies, but actually that we were treated as disposable. You had people in meat packing plants being forced to go in there, and you had executives laughing about who was going to be the first worker to die from COVID. So we have seen very clearly that we're in this together across industries. Flight attendants are fighting right now for record-breaking contracts, and just like the auto workers were. And we need a giant step forward because we're also facing legacy sexism that has kept the value of our jobs lower than it should be. We're fighting to get paid for our time at work. This is a major issue across industries, that workers are forced to do work where they're not paid at all. And so these are some of the same issues that we're fighting across the board in every industry. And when other workers see that workers are winning, that encourages them to stand up. We're organizing 28,000 flight attendants at Delta Airlines. And I can tell you, they were watching this vote. They were watching to see that workers in the South could win. That's a Southern company based in Atlanta. This meant something to them. This spoke to their heart. This is their communities. They know people in those plants. They often have brothers or sisters or mothers or fathers or uncles, aunts, and they can relate to this. So this is very much, you know, a connection between workers and the basic connection around humanity and what we have to stand up for and expect that this economy needs to be built for us, not for the billionaires.
Sarah, great to see you. Thank you this morning. I know you made some accommodations to join us this morning, so we're deeply appreciative of that. Sarah Nelson is the international president of the Association of Flight Attendants, CWA, AFL-CIO. Hey, everyone. MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.